All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA, and this is my update for Monday, January 11. Today, I want to talk about Joe Manchin III, Democratic Senator from West Virginia, probably the most conservative Democrat currently in the Senate. He can really make life difficult for Joe Biden getting done what he wants to get done in the Senate, particularly with respect to another round of stimulus checks. Yesterday, Joe Manchin was on State of the Union with Jake Tapper on CNN. Jake directly asked Manchin about $2,000 stimulus checks, how he would vote on that. I'll play that clip in a minute. But first, they talked about impeachment. Manchin says he thinks Trump should be impeached, but he said we have to be practical here. Manchin said the earliest that the House of Representatives could pass and send the articles of impeachment to the Senate is January 19th, which is the day before Inauguration Day. So Manchin is basically saying it would be a fruitless exercise and that he would rather see this thing play out in the courts rather than in Congress, because he believes that Congress's priority should be Biden, not Trump. Manchin wants to get Biden's cabinet and other picks confirmed as soon as possible so that Congress can move on to the more important tasks of getting people vaccinated, getting people back to work, and businesses opening up. Then Jake prompts the question. Here's the clip.
Okay, so you've given some mixed messages on whether you support sending $2,000 checks to Americans who earn $75,000 or less. Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, as well as your new Senate colleagues, Ossoff and Warnock, all support sending these larger checks. Are you on board, yes or no?
Jake, that's not a yes or no question. I'm on board by helping people that need help, people that really can't make it, people that don't have a job. They can't put food on their table. I'm in total support of helping them. Sending checks to people that basically already have a check and aren't going to be able to spend that or not going to spend it, usually are putting it in their savings account right now. That's not who we are. That we have done an awful lot of that. It's time now to target where the money goes. Make sure the people in need. I have people in West Virginia that can't go back to work because there's not a job to go to. I have businesses that can't open up. Don't you think we should be helping them first? And you know, Jake, we're talking about everything else. Why can't we just do something that basically puts people back to work? Infrastructure. If you want to spend $2 or $3 trillion, invest it in infrastructure. FDR did it in the 32, and basically we saw WPA and CCC. I've played ball and gone to schools to where that was built back in the 30s.
Okay.
There's a lot we can do to put people back to work.
So yes on a big infrastructure bill, no on the $2,000 checks because they're not targeted enough. I only have a minute left, so I just want to do
if they're targeted, if they're targeted, I am all for targeting money.
But not just anybody who makes under $75,000.
Not carte blanche across the board.
It's tough getting a senator to do a lightning round.
So Jake asked Manchin, Joe, are you on board with $2,000 stimulus checks, yes or no? And Joe says, it's not a yes or no question. Okay. Apparently what he means by that is that he's not necessarily opposed to the dollar amount itself, otherwise presumably he would have given a flat-out no for an answer, but rather that it depends on who gets the money. He said we shouldn't send checks to people who don't need it and who are just going to save it. But the natural question that Jake failed to ask Manchin is, okay, Joe, you say you might be open to $2,000 stimulus checks if they're targeted. What on earth does targeted mean to you? Right? Is there a dollar figure, an income level? Jake didn't ask that question, but Manchin mentioned two groups, the unemployed and businesses. But that's kind of blurring the line here, right? Because when we talk about the stimulus for the unemployed, we typically call that, unemployment. And when we talk about the stimulus for small businesses, well, that's been PPP and EIDL lately, not stimulus checks, right? And then get this. In the blink of an eye, Joe Manchin takes the conversation from $2,000 stimulus checks to infrastructure. Yes, he said, if you want to spend $2 or $3 trillion, put people back to work on infrastructure. So I think this is kind of a squirrely answer on Manchin's part. I understand that Jake didn't have a lot of time, but I sure do wish that he would have pressed Joe Manchin more on what exactly he means by targeted, and specifically whom he has in mind to be eligible for $2,000 stimulus checks. Are you satisfied with Joe Manchin's answer here? Let me know in the comments below. Then after this, Jake asked Manchin about eliminating the filibuster on legislation. Manchin said no, he would not support that. We've covered that before here on the channel. He was asked about statehood for Washington, D.C., as well as Puerto Rico. Manchin said he'd need more facts on that. A couple other topics were discussed. I've placed a link to the full interview in the description below if you would like to watch it yourself. But yeah, I really want to know what y'all are thinking about Joe Manchin right now, okay? Because he's kind of being a little bit of a stick in the mud with respect to another round of stimulus checks. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.